What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 128 of Two Dudes with Sports News. As always, I was Garrett here with my co-host.
What it do? This Jalen Prince.
What are we
Okay,
doing with this background noise?
had to go ahead and set something up. We on this new format and stuff, dog.
You going Zen right out the gate?
Should we easing stuff back in, and we're easing stuff back into format.
All right. So for those of you, we've been gone for a little bit. First of all,
Yeah, a
we want to
little
wish everybody
bit.
happy holidays, a little bit of everything like that. So happy
Happy
holidays, all
holidays,
that fun stuff.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're in 2026 now. With 2026 comes changes. So, my Jags are into the playoffs. That's one thing I hadn't changed.
Hey, but we both division winners though.
I'll take it.
If we would have had that show earlier, we would have had the division winners show.
Anyways, not the point. We're going to go through a couple format changes that we're going to announce to you guys right now, so stay tuned. One of them might be a name change coming later, so don't worry if you start seeing posts from some new account. We're thinking about changing the name up a little bit. We're also thinking about changing the format, mostly to go with that name change. So the new format we're going to have is we're going to try to narrow down exactly what we're doing. We are going to have some interesting changes. We're going to start messing with some audio effects. We're going to start messing with different topics, different timers.
A whole lot of different sounds.
All kinds of different sounds and everything. We're going to have some more fun with this. We're also going to try to attack 4 topics per episode.
Yeah.
Each topic gets 10 minutes total between Jalen and myself. Now, we're each going to have a little buzzer where we can, and we'll figure out the semantics on that later, but we're going to have a situation where what we can do is we can add an extra 3 total minutes to that timer. Now, what it's going to do is that's going to keep us on track, 10 minutes per thing, 4 topics that we get to pick whatever we want every single week.
Yo.
And that way we can have a little more fun with it, whether it's big news stuff that's important to you guys, stuff that's important to us, whatever we really want to talk about.
And the most important thing about this is to be able to keep the flow going, not only just improve our show, but also keep the topics going. We're not like constantly backtracking. We're moving everything forward. We're going to do this with guests. We're going to do this with obviously it's going to start with us. And hopefully once we get back in the rhythm of things, we're going to get back to getting some old special guests in, as well as some new ones. But overall,
For sure.
It's a great way for us to be able to get back rolling.
For sure. For that point too, with new guests and all stuff like that, we'll probably switch it up a little bit, maybe limit the topics or something like that in the meantime. But that is the plan going forward. So stay tuned. Might be some name changes on things, might be some new logos that we've been working on, but there's going to be a bunch of new stuff coming to 26. Again, New year, new us. And we mean it this time. We're not going to stick to it for a week and disappear.
But there is one thing that is going to stay consistent and stay the same.
Yes. Follow us. Again, name might change, but we are on Twitter, X, TikTok, YouTube, all some fun things like that. Currently at TDSN Pod. Stay tuned for anything potentially changing on that. And the other thing is not going to change. Jalen and myself, we're not going anywhere. I put some out earlier, and somebody was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "No, we're good. This is just going to be fun." But you can follow us.
Life is happening. Life is happening,
but we're good. And we got new ideas. We want to stay fresh. We want to keep it fun. So that's what we're doing. So. Let's get right into it right off the bat. The first topic we are going to talk about is college football playoff recap. And we're going to get strictly into the playoff recap. I'm going to pull this up on stage. For me, Jalen, we were both incredibly wrong about this. So what I think ended up happening is I had a couple things that I really was interested in. I thought there were going to be a couple upsets. I got weird in my predictions. You had Bama winning the whole dang thing, which I expect nothing less from you. And that is not a shot at you, but you're a Bama fan. I understand. I get it. I had Jacksonville winning the whole dang thing too. It's fine. It is what it is. So I also had a couple upsets, but whatever. So personally, furious that Miami is still in this thing. I hate Miami so much. I hate that team. I hate that team so much. I am furious Miami's still in it, but here they are. They have found a way to win at every single step. I firmly believe that, like I believe I said earlier, Indiana is going to win this entire thing. What do you think? What have been your playoff thoughts so far? Because Indiana's looked like the most legit contender to me.
it's been a tough playoffs, but like I think emotionally, I was already kind of set of what it was going to be. Um, we did not look good. First off, I'm glad we was able to take care of business against Oklahoma first and foremost, and a lot of people want to brush that over. But it's like Alabama ran into an old school mirror of what like Kurt Signetti has built in Indiana in a very short time. And Fernando Mendoza, he's legit. The two wide receivers that he got, they're especially the three wide receivers that he got, they're legit. They can play. It's just the thing that surprised me to answer your question. It has been the level of dominance that Indiana has shown the last few games that they have played. The other thing that has stood out to me is it's not the fact that the U was back. I don't believe that the U was back. I don't think
No,
it's
absolutely not.
once
Absolutely
once
not.
was, but you got to give credit to what credit is due as far as what Carson Beck has done on his side. But that defense of what Miami is doing with Bain and the crew, you got to give it up for them, and also you got to give a shout out to the true freshman in uh
Malachi Tony.
Malachi Tony. You you just got to give it up to him. So overall, it hasn't gone the way that you expected. I remember early on when the playoffs started, JMU and Tulane didn't have their best effort, and then like there's another discussion about like G5s separating G5s having their own playoffs compared to the P4s. Look, that's a subject for another day. But overall, biggest surprise has been Indiana to me. Gotta give a shout out to Ole Miss for stepping up after everything that has transpired with Lane Kiffin. You got to give them their respect. But the biggest standout has been Indiana and the level of dominance that they had.
Oh, by far, they've beaten everybody handily. Like it wouldn't even, the Oregon game was an absolute, that's just domination, like
Yeah.
plain and simple. And Signetti said it best, Google me, I win. Like he has taken a team of no 4 stars, no 5 stars, and just absolutely shown good play calling, good scheme, good coaching, sound, mistake free fundamental football can just plain out beat anybody at the collegiate level. It's
Doug,
insane.
and it's insane, but I still got to go back to Alabama side. First off, I believe in Kalen DeBoer. I believe in Ryan Williams. I still believe in the future of this program and what we unlike and what we could possibly achieve in the future if done right. Now, transfer portal has been crazy. Again, we'll have to talk about that another time once
That's a
like
whole other episode.
once the window was closed. Obviously, with Cam Coleman going to Texas, a running back that originally committed to Alabama received a different check from Texas. That's going into another thing. Um, Look, a lot of things has happened, especially since the transfer portal window is open, and I do want to get into a whole motivational thing as far as like what Deion Sanders said, where guys are chasing the bag and they're not chasing the game. But again, that's a different story for another day. The point is, like Bama can still compete at a very high level. They can still win a national championship with Kalen DeBoer. Is they gotta go back to the basics. Kalen DeBoer's got to find his thing that's going to equate to winning, and like Bama's never going to be back to dominating the way it is because of NIL and the transfer portal. It's just not going to happen. So in the meantime, you can find your way to winning and be competitive. And it's not like Bama wasn't winning games. They got to the playoffs in the second year under Caleb DeBoer. Now, if you want to judge them as third year, okay. Like me personally, my window is you got 3 years. Set the culture, get your like set the culture, get your guys, then start winning. That's always going to be me when it comes to coaching. And right now we're going into the third year. Folks want to forget Nick Saban won all those games, but it wasn't peaches and cream to begin the season off. So I believe as an Alabama fan, we're going to be fine in the future. Bama, you're just going to have some of those folks that's just not going to be patient, and that's comes with the territory. But I do believe Alabama's going to be fine in the future. That's just me personally.
And like you made an interesting point. So like for me with coaches, because you're 100% right. Like coaches have historically, both at the collegiate level and the professional level, coaches have 3 years to show genuine improvement. And if that 3 years they're not showing genuine improvement, they'll get usually halfway into year 4 at most before they're just completely axed.
And I got a feeling I know where you about to go into the next topic of conversation.
And what do you think that would be? NFL coaching chaos.
Yeah.
We left a little time on the clock, mainly for the CFB playoff recap, just because, again, to what we were talking about earlier, we align mostly on this, and we can nitpick all we want, but that's not fun for you. That's not fun for us.
Nope.
But this coaching chaos is something I want to get into desperately. So there's definitely.
I think two things we could possibly, two things that we need to talk about as far as like just the reaction as far as the ones that's been fired, but also which right now what would be the best job. But right now we're gonna react to the job. So overall, like here are all the people that's been fired. You got Bryce Callahan fired from the Titans. You got Brian Daboll fired for the Giants. Raheem Morris fired from the Falcons. Kevin Stefanski from the Browns. Pete Carroll from the Raiders. Jonathan Gannon Cardinals. John Harbaugh Ravens. Mike McDaniel Dolphins, and recently Mike Tomlin and the Steelers parted ways. So there is an open spot for the Steelers job. That is the current situation with the NFL, with all the chaos that's transpiring in the NFL as far as in the coaching market. Now, my question, I'll start off with this. The biggest surprise to me, actually, scratch that. None of these fires have surprised me whatsoever.
One did.
Okay.
Two. All
right. So Brian Daboll, we saw it coming. Bryce Callahan, they just wasn't winning. Jonathan Gannon, first of all, nobody cares about the Cardinals. Let me reiterate. Nobody cares about Arizona. There is no Larry Fitzgerald. There is no Kurt Warner. There's none of that outside of Calais Campbell, but he's in the tail end of his career. There's no outside of Josh Sweat, Mac Wilson, and Michael Wilson. Outside of that, and James Conner. There's no other reason to care about the Arizona Cardinals. They're irrelevant. They're the stepchild of the NFC West. We don't care about them.
No Buda Baker?
Okay, I respect Buda. Look, and Will Johnson, I'll give you that. But other than that, they're not relevant. They're not competing. That's the bottom line with the Arizona Cardinals. Nobody in the West cares about them, and it's too much energy to even talk about them. But yet, though, we got to do it because they fired their coach. Here's the point that I want to address. Gannon wasn't keeping his job after the incident with the running back that fumbled right before he crossed the end zone, and I forgot his name, and I hate that. But
Gannon wasn't keeping his job until we found out Kyler Murray cared more about Call of Duty than playing the game. Allegedly.
Yeah, they had that issue. So Gannon did not surprise me. John Harbaugh, look, let's keep it a buck. Whoever won out of that Week 18 matchup between the Ravens and the Steelers, the loser was losing their job. Bottom line.
Well, guess what? They both did.
So they both one step down. Because
I know.
Because here's the difference between being fired and stepping down. Stepping down means you can basically retire while still being under contract. So you're getting your money. You get fired, you just got a buyout. You ain't getting no more money during that time. So there's the difference. Mike Tomlin went out went out right. Everybody else did not.
The two jobs that surprised me were Harbaugh for sure until I started learning more details and I got it. The other job that surprised me, and certain fan base is going to hate me for this, certain fan bases are going to question me for this, it was Raheem Morris. Because again, most coaches get 3 years. Raheem was in year 2. And correct me if I'm wrong, the Falcons, because I don't watch a ton of Falcons football this year, if we're being honest, which might be why the Raheem Morris job surprised me. They weren't awful. They weren't great, but they weren't awful. They were better than they were last year. So this is normally a situation where he gets that extra year. But apparently Arthur Blank and the team didn't feel the way that they did about that. The reason why Harbaugh got fired from everything that was coming out about it, and this could be true, this could be false, we don't actually know. Harbaugh got let go because he refused to part ways with Todd Monken, from what I understood. And if that's the case, more sympathetic to Ravens fans I could not be, because that's part of the reason why Doug Peterson got fired, because he refused to part ways with Press Taylor. So that one still shocked me because they were perennial playoff candidates with John Harbaugh. He was the longest tenured coach. It was 18 years. And what I think is going to happen, Harbaugh, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am on this. Harbaugh being available is the entire reason why Mike McDaniel got fired. 100%. Because McDaniel was safe until Harbaugh got fired. And
you think the Dolphins going to take? You think Dolphins going to take Harbaugh?
Oh, they're making a push. They're making a push for sure.
All right, let me ask you this: what the heck is John Harbaugh?
Let me finish real quick. The reason why I think that's the case is because if we remember when it was coming out that Harbaugh got let go, there were only 6 teams that had coaching vacancies, Ravens included. 7 teams, or I don't think the Ravens were included in that. 6 teams had coaching vacancies. 7 teams reach out to Harbaugh within the hour of the news breaking. Shortly after Mike McDaniel gets fired. You can't tell me that they saw Harbaugh available and said, all right, we'll shoot our shot. I think Harbaugh is 100% the reason why Mike McDaniel got fired.
What does Harbaugh do well? I know what Jim Harbaugh is mainly his identity on is offense, being physical, running heavy. We saw what had happened when he was with the Niners, then with the Michigan Wolverines when he won the national championship, and we see what he's trying to do with the Chargers.
You're mixing up your Harbaughs.
No. I'm saying I know what Jim Harbaugh does. Okay. I know what he does well. That's what I'm saying. I know what Jim Harbaugh is about. What the heck does John Harbaugh do? Is he defense? Is he offense? What is he?
I see. If you would ask me a couple years ago, I would have had a better answer for you. Based on this past season, outside of being a really good evaluator of talent, I don't know off the top of my head.
You're giving them evaluated talent. Oh wait, is Ozzie still the GM?
I think I'd have to check. I don't know.
I don't think so no more. But
I'm saying it definitely helps because you find guys like Kyle Hamilton is an absolute dog.
True, and also they got a really good owner in Steve Biscotti. I respect that dude. But back, I'll go back to this. So look at again. You said you were surprised about the Falcons. I wasn't. I speaking to Falcons fans. I got family that are Falcons fans. One of my best friends is a Falcons fan. They were ready to move on from Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that a lot of the players, they fought for Raheem. They did not want him to go. They didn't want him to lose his job. But you got to think about this. John Harbaugh getting fired was valid. Raheem Morris getting fired was valid. Kevin Stefanski, that's a different beast in of itself.
Are you saying it's not valid? Because I would 1,000% disagree.
No, it's valid. No, it's valid, but for different reasons compared to the Falcons. Like the Falcons fire, the Ravens fire, and the Steelers fire. They're all different validated fires.
Mm-hmm.
Those teams got fired. Like those teams fired their coaches because they had the talent to be able to compete for the division and go and make the playoffs, and they did not do it. They were in the bottom 5. They were in the bottom tier. Heck, they're outside of the Steelers, they got high draft picks. Well, outside the Steelers and the Falcons, they got high draft picks. Everybody else was just naturally bad.
I don't think there's a single coach on that list that you can inherently say was not justified. Like for me, I can find a reason for every single one of these coaches.
That's why I said
Callahan was not developing the offense well enough. When he left, the offense actually got better. Dable, again, similar situation, wasn't working as well. Raheem Stefanski,
it wasn't working.
I think Stefanski was trying to get fired.
I get that, especially after the whole Shador thing, but we ain't got enough time to get into that.
Dude,
but
some of his decision making was insane. Why are you? Sorry.
Again, it's valid. But the reason why I'm saying the Falcons and the Ravens, Steelers, those firings are way different from everybody else. They're fired their coaches because of the expectations of making the playoffs, and they did not do it. Well, for the Steelers, they made the playoffs, but they got bounced out the first round. And right now, as it lives right now, Mike Tomlin has the same streak as Marvin Lewis had when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals. You went those many years without a playoff win, and you just can't do it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like for me, it's I guess at that point, what I would say is, what is a coach firing that you're surprised hasn't happened yet? Because I have one.
That's easy.
Let's see if we're on the same page.
Dude from the Cincinnati.
Zach Taylor.
Yes. How does he keep his job, dog?
We're on
the same page, and I know we got to move on, but like we're on the same page.
Discuss that. We got like an extra 2 or 3 minutes because we ended early on the other one. But like for me, like we didn't discuss this at all before the show. That is hilarious. How are you still employed,
bro?
How are you still employed?
And the thing about it, they're gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse.
Joe walks into that locker room and like in that building every single day and looks at Zach Taylor and just goes.
All around the world, same crap.
It's insane. But anyways, like we could be on this forever. No coaching hire directly upset me or like shocked me, I guess. But the biggest thing for me was more of like all of them were valid. The biggest one for me though, that like I feel like the biggest sigh of relief was Browns fans seeing Stefanski getting fired. Everybody was just like, okay, good.
And because I got to mention it, Pete Carroll getting fired as well. So.
Yeah, no, Pete, the game has passed him by.
Yeah, and I've been saw that, but they want to hire him anyway. But you got to but you got to blame Brady on that one. Hey, Brady making that bad hire for Pete Carroll. How does that affect LeBron James' legacy?
How do you mean?
It's an inside joke.
Okay.
All right.
So let's move on to the next one. We got NFL playoffs is the next one.
Y'all.
Playoff recap. I will talk briefly about, well, not briefly. I was in Jacksonville for this game. And I want to say.
You almost had it.
We almost had it. And like for me, it's. We almost had it. And for the people who are like, oh, we'll try. Like we had 2 fourth quarter touchdowns. The biggest question for me is why on God's green earth did we go away from running the ball? I don't know if it was something Trevor saw with the checkdowns or anything like that. Like, I don't know. But I was there. I want to say shout out to the Bills fans in my section. I was up there with them in the trenches for this thing. We were going back and forth. It was a good time. They were nothing but respectful to me while I was there, and I appreciate that. If Man in New England had arguably the worst game of the entire playoffs so far. And by if Man, I mean Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are once again like San Francisco. San Francisco was an incredible game.
You want to call him If Man? Why not?
Because
I like Mr.
If Man, because every time Herbert has something happen, it's one of those things where it's like,
it's not his fault.
No, it's never Herbert's fault, and I don't know why it's never Herbert's fault. It's never his fault, and it's insane to me.
Yeah, get to your point, and then I'll go.
So, but like, anyway, sorry, we got to move on. CJ Stroud reminded me of the guys in the subway videos who help the subway train move on down the line where they pretend to stop it and pretend to start it again, because that man did absolutely. This is not me coming from a salty point of view. You cannot tell me that man did everything in his power to not win that game. He did nothing. And that defense, once again, proved why they are one of the best defenses in the league and carried that offense to a championship. Or not a championship, a divisional berth, and to another win once again. Niners had an incredible game. Bears, Packers had an incredible game. Panthers, Rams were an incredible game. Everything was really, really good, and I hope the next head on the chopping block for Eagles fans' sake is their offensive coordinator. That's my 2 minutes. Jalen, what you got on this?
Tremendous wild card games off the rip. Dog, there was so many good games, but there's only one team I feel bad for, and that's the Carolina Panthers, because I felt like they were the closest And it's not just me being a Seahawks fan because I understand what the Rams are. I didn't care if they won or lose because either way, we would have to see them at some point in the playoffs. That's neither here nor there. I was just glad last weekend it was a relaxation day. We just like us as Seahawks fans, we get to chill out, kick back, and just watch and just watch football. That was it. But overall, the games, I was just glad that we had some really good games. There wasn't no blowout, but I gotta agree with you. From what we saw from CJ Stroud, you have to ask yourself, how bad has he regressed? Because it's looked bad. And you gotta wonder, like, they gotta let's see. I think what? Yeah, they gotta go to New England.
They're
And as
going
great
to.
as the defense for Houston is, and it is great, they're going to play a much better offensive line in the Patriots. They're going to play a better running game in the Patriots. But even though I still believe that they're going to be able to do their job, it's just I do not see them going very, very far with that team. That's number one. On the NFC side, bro, it's Philadelphia's fault.
100%
There's not much you could say. There's not much you could say. But I know folks are gonna find a way to blame this on Jalen Hurts, and it ain't his fault.
No,
He
this
actually
is
played as good as you can hope because he was making the throws. But Smitty dropped one, and Smitty's been reliable. Dallas Goedert, same thing. The play calling's been bad all year, and then AJ Brown want to pick now to play bad. Bro, I don't know which one. I don't know which loss was worse: Eagles losing to the Niners, or the Packers losing to the Bears after having a 21 having a 21-3 lead.
I would say the Eagles losing to the Niners solely because that's the reigning Super Bowl champions getting bounced for this just happened. They just fired him.
Yeah, he got fired earlier today, but we'll talk about that later.
I didn't even see that. That's it couldn't like run up the middle.
Yeah.
Deep ball to AJ Brown. Like that. That's it. That was it. Those are the plays. There was nothing else. Those are the only situations. Like it's crazy to me, like how that like you know me. I am a call it how I see it kind of person, and I will absolutely be critical of both my players, and by my players I mean players I cheer for and players that I don't really pull for. I have been critical of Jalen Hurts 100%. I don't put this loss on him. I don't put this loss on him at all, because why are you running like this? Looked like a CFB 26 playbook they were running, which was crazy. How do you have all of the receivers run full patterns?
Bro, this wasn't 26. This wasn't 26. This was NCAA 14.
NCAA 13.
Without the motions. This is NCAA 14 without the motions. That's what it was. The play calling's been inconsistent all year. It was good for the first half, and then once Robert Saleh, by the way, he's going to win assistant coach of the year. Literally, that's the only debate. That's the only outside of that and defensive player of the year are the only unanimous decisions for the NFL during the award show. I just want to throw that out there.
Who's the POI unanimous then? Oh, I'm stupid. Never mind. Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Well, to answer your non-intentional, like a rhetorical question, it would be Myles Garrett.
God, oh my God. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, that's as soon as that sentence left my mouth, I was like, I know the answer to that.
Yeah. So, but dog, Philly's defense improved so much as of late because of Vic Fangio. Now, again, we talked earlier about coaches, because we'll get to that point later. But to answer the original question, I said I don't know which loss was worse. Was it Philly or the Packers? I'm gonna say the Packers for the simple fact, we're up in Chicago, up I think 21-3 or 21-6, your largest lead, and you did not feed like Josh Jacobs enough in the second half. Now, half of that I'm gonna give credit to the Chicago's defense, even though it is not good. Like the only good thing about them, they can force turnovers. But Green Bay didn't really force any turnovers. They let like Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson and the offense get going. And once that happened, it was already too late. But no, the secondary, but like Green Bay got a secondary problem. Outside of
That
Xavier McKinney, they got a secondary problem on the defense because
and
like they
that's
ain't got no shutdown corner.
no, and that's another quarterback I was super critical of coming out of the draft class was Caleb Williams, and
Yeah.
he seems to have hit his stride. That throw to Rome Odunze was ridiculous.
Oh, on the fourth down? Oh, yes.
I impressive. I'll give him that. And like, listen, I will always own up to, unlike some other pundits and talking heads of the NFL world, one of them who you know very, very well. I will admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I got beef with Sherm. It's fine. He's got beef with the whole fan base. It's whatever.
What else?
But one thing that I feel like separates you and me from a lot of other these shows is we'll admit when we're incorrect.
And we're still not even there yet.
No, but like for me, I was wrong about Caleb Williams. He's putting it together, and good for him. I'm happy for the guy.
I think the thing is for like he finally Ben Johnson has gotten Caleb Williams to take accountability for his actions, which is the hardest thing to do. But you're starting to see the marriage between him and Ben Johnson really work out. And I'm seeing Caleb Williams be special when it's time to be special and just take and make the easy throws in that game. And that's why, like, again, we're about to give our predictions very soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I give Chicago a really good chance to knock off the Rams. So I really do like that marriage. Now, I do want to point this out. I'm so glad for Ben Johnson being in Chicago because I didn't know him and Matt LaFleur had beef in real life. So that's only going to boost up the rivalry between the Bears and the Packers even more, even though that's been a rivalry for a long time. But the days of the Packers, I think this was a statement game for Chicago. There's no more Green Bay dominating Chicago from here on out. It's going to be back and forth for a long time. And also, real quick, and we'll say this question and I'll ask this question and we'll answer it for next episode. If you are the Minnesota Vikings, how much time do you got? Because the Lions had an injury problem on defense. Green Bay still made the playoffs, and they're still going to be competing. Mm-hmm. Chicago is coming if they haven't already arrived. If you're Minnesota, what the heck do you do? We'll move on from there.
You picking a quarterback, and I'll tell you why next episode. But anyways, let's move on. NFL divisional round predictions. It's time to do this again,
y'all.
So, for me, in my humble opinion, at this point, I want the Bills to go win the whole dang thing. Because if I got to lose to somebody, we got sounds for that. Hold on. If I got to lose to somebody, here, Jalen, this one's for you. If I got to lose to somebody, I would rather lose to these Super Bowl champions than divisional round castaways or cast-offs. But to me, I think that the Bills can walk into Mile High and beat Denver. 1,000%. What you booing that for? Absolutely not. The Bills can walk into Mile High and beat Denver. And I think New England will absolutely beat Houston. Y'all can bookmark this. Y'all can save it. Houston will once again never have gone to an AFC championship game. Once again. Houston will not make it out of the divisional round.
I'm not going to knock your Houston hate division stuff. I respect it. And I do agree with you. I got New England winning that game. They'll find a way to do it. Here's my problem with the Buffalo Bills going into Mile High. The games will be on Saturday. When did y'all and the Bills play? Y'all play Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so short week of rest. That's number one. Number two, the difference between your defense and the Broncos defense. Y'all can stop the run. Broncos are about mid stopping the run. They can rush the passer. Y'all were disappointing at rushing the passer to a whole degree, even though y'all hit Josh Allen really hard, but he still found a way to get it done. I think in this matchup, now if James Cook is able to go off in this game like Travis Etienne was when y'all went in the Mile High, then I give you that. But I'm gonna get some respect to the Denver Broncos in this sense. The Bills are not good at defending the run.
No.
They're not good at defending the run. The Broncos want to run the ball with their backfield and then with their backfield and their quarterback. So when push comes to shove, when they have to throw, it's going to be based off of the run game that's going to be able to open up the throwing lanes. Because I'm also going to look at this as a coaching matchup. You got Sean McDermott versus Sean Payton. As much as I'm not a big fan of Sean Payton, I'm going to trust him a lot more than I trust Sean McDermott.
Now we'll put respect.
So so for me, because of that secondary, because of that defense, because of that pass rush, I'm gonna give the edge to the Broncos. I'm gonna say the Broncos win this game, but they win it by 3. Because I think Nick Benito and them, and Zach Allen and them, I think they're gonna get to Josh Allen. But they got to be able to stop the run. They're able to hold down the run. Then Josh got to throw it. Josh can be Superman all he wants. He better not try Surtain, because you got them wide receivers on Surtain and them. I'm going the Broncos in this game.
So why do you think New England over Houston? Because I can tell you why I think New England over Houston for me, and I think it's because while their defense can go toe to toe with New England's offense, I don't think the Texans' offense, if they play like they did against Pittsburgh, can go toe to toe with New England's defense. I don't think there's a way.
I agree with you.
Stroud, if Houston wins this game, it cannot be because the defense is carrying this team once again. Stroud has to show up in New England.
But here's the thing. Houston has to be able to run the football. They did a good job against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But New England's a much better defensive team in that standpoint, and plus they can score. Also, here's another factor. Wasn't Stephon Diggs a member of the Houston Texans last year?
Yes, he was.
And they decided not to bring him back?
Yes.
What wide receiver right now in the NFL is more pettier than Stephon Diggs?
That's fair.
That's why I'm giving that. I see him going off. He's going against Stingley. He's going against Kamari Lassiter. I can see Diggs having feasting in this game. Now, I'm not saying he's going to feast for getting 200 yards. No, he's not Jackson Smith and Jigba. But I do see him be able to get his. So, yeah, I got the Patriots winning that one. Speaking of JSN.
Let's get into it.
The number 1 team in the NFC, the number 1 seed in the NFC, the number 1 team in the NFC West. We're finally done with our rest. And we about to get the best of those San Francisco 49ers. So obviously you know the answer that I'm going with. I'm going with the home team in the Pacific Northwest. That's all I need to say.
Y'all did split this year too, which is interesting.
Yep, week 1, week 18.
With Kittle out, I think it's going to be very.
It's not going to make no difference.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think it does give you guys the edge for sure.
Yeah, but
you listen.
I'm listening.
Take your fan hat off. I have to give credit where credit's due. San Francisco has found a way to win consistently, whether that's been sacrificing the health of other members on the team to keep CMC healthy. I don't know.
Keep talking.
However they've been doing it, I got nothing but respect for them in that regard. Like, they've done a very, very good job. And while I do think that Seattle has the upper hand without question, because of the 49ers injuries, because it's going to be in Seattle, because Seattle's a very hard place to play historically, because this is a division rivalry, there are so many things going in Seattle's favor already. But what I think ends up being, it's hard for me, man, because I think y'all win this, but I think it's closer than you may think. I think this is a 1-score game for sure, because the Niners they've been finding a way.
I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I told you in Sports After Dark. We're just gonna find a way to win. because that's what we've been doing all year.
They've been
Seattle
finding.
has
They've been finding.
Seattle has found ways to win games.
That's fair.
Whether
I'll give you
Sam
that.
Darnold turns the ball over or not, whether we're able to run the ball or not, whether we're able to throw the ball and have a bunch of yards or not, this team, this culture finds ways to win. And the biggest confidence boost that we had to go again. We had to get the rematch against the Rams. We had to and Sam Darnold played one of his worst games of the season compared to the first matchup against the Rams. He threw 4 picks in the first matchup. He threw 2 picks in the second matchup. Down by 30-14, came all the way back to beat him in overtime. And that and guess who? And it took Sam Darnold to throw the game winning, throw the touchdown. They get us in that position and hit the 2-point conversion. That's Sam Darnold, so that's a boost to him. But everybody wants to keep throwing out the whole Sam Darnold thing, and I get it. It's a thing. We understand it. Us as Seahawks fans, we know it, but we don't care because our team is built strong enough to be able to overcome the mistakes. And I know if you make mistakes in the playoffs, it's going to cost you heavily. Heavily, it's going to cost you deep. But this team is strong enough to be able to handle it. The locker room is strong to be able to handle it. The culture, but more importantly, this: we got Mike McDonald. We got the coach of the year on our side. The bottom line, and I know Kyle Shanahan's coaching his butt off. He's going against the equalizer, both in Mike McDonald and Nick Emmanwori. No matter what no matter what Kyle Shanahan, and we proved this 2 weeks ago. No matter what Kyle Shanahan tries to throw at us or run at us, we're going to be ready. We got a guy that's going to be able to put guys in the positions to succeed. And that's all we can ask for. So, again, we're not going to blow them out because I got too much respect for them because they're going to find a way to make it close. But I won't be surprised if we do because we beat them up last time. We're going to beat them up again, whether they got Trent Williams or not, whether they got Ricky Pearsall or not, whether they got Fred Warner or not. And most likely it's going to be not with Fred Warner. But either way, we're going to find a way to win. Barring injury, we're going to find a way to win. The thing that's going to tick me off with the Niners, and I want you to keep an eye out on this. If and when we when or if we beat them, I don't want no excuses. But I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
Dude, that's any loss. But we got like a minute left.
Yep.
Bears, Rams. What do you got?
I'm going Bears because I mentioned earlier. Caleb Williams is playing good football, and Ben Johnson is coaching his butt off. Now the Bears defense is bad. It is bad. But dog, you got a team in Sunshine, LA going into Chicago in January. I'm going Bears because they're gonna find a way to run the ball. With Swift and Monunga, I think they find a way to run the ball. I think there's going to be a good game plan. I think this is going to be Ben Johnson's and the Chicago Bears come out party. I think they find a way to win this game.
I disagree. I think the Rams find a way to win this one because they found the Rams are once again. I know we got to wrap it up for this. The Rams are once again another team that has just consistently found ways to win. Not all the time, but they have found ways to win. They've been in multiple close games all season, and they find a way. You've got the savvy vet in Stafford. You've got the coach that all of the new head coaches are coming from the McVay coaching tree. So again, I think it's a close game. I think we're getting better games out of the NFC than we are the AFC. And
it's been a better year for the NFC. It's been a great year for the NFC.
But I think the Rams win. I think you guys sneak by the Niners, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think the Niners find a way to keep it close, even with all the injuries. I think New England handles Houston. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any stretch, but I could see a double-digit win for that. And I'm with you on the Broncos-Bills coming down to a field goal, but I think it's the Bills pulling it out. So that's where I'm in.
Welcome to the dark side.
There it is. All right. Well, hopefully you guys like the new format. We really do appreciate your time. We really do appreciate the patience. We're going to go and close at the show the same way we always do. Follow us on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It's perfectly fine. Follow us on YouTube as well. It's all at TDSN Pod on pretty much every single one of those things. You type in TDSN Pod at the time of this episode being recorded, you'll find it. If things change, that's why you need to follow us now, and you'll see the name, and it'll be great. please rate 5 stars, comment, all that fun stuff like that. I don't know why it works, but it does. It feeds the algorithm gods. It continues to push us up these charts, continues to put us in front of different people who may not have heard us before. If you didn't like the show, feel like a bad date, go your way, we'll go ours, perfectly fine. We gave you 45 to 50 minutes of content. We appreciate it. Just didn't work out. It's all good. It's not you, it's us. It's not us, it's you. Whatever helps you feel better. If you like the show, if you rate 5 stars, if you do everything like that, you get a shout out at the very end. You also get a shout out if we think that, this is another show that you'll like as well if you like ours. Shout outs as always come at the end. Shout outs go to Jim over at Fan of the Van. Him and I have been doing Steel and Teal a little more consistently now. We're down to like 1 a month at this point. We're definitely going to have to talk about both of our teams getting bounced the first round. Brent over 1420 Sports, Aaron of Brutally Honest, Darian over at Chill Takes. He's been hitting the podcast circuit lately, which is great for him, and that's awesome. Eamon over at Aperture Sports, him and Jim do a show called Occurring Sports. Always go check out Sports After Dark. It's chaotic, it's fun, it's awesome, it's always a good time. That's over on Twitter Spaces. Go check that out. Go check out IAP Radio. If you're a wrestling fan, whether you're a casual fan like myself or a hardcore fan like Jalen, go check out John at Wrestling Fan Insight. Don't bet the house, don't bet the rent. Always listen to Nate's Daily Wager. Thank you. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Peace! And go Hawks!